Northerners, Southerners, Easterners, and Westerners. We were men and women. We were black and white, or something in between. We were brought together for this mission, for our troops, and for our individual desires to do something important and something meaningful for our country and with our lives. I'm home now, but memories of the deployment keep finding me. Standing inside a poorly lit tent in a foreign place, a ragged, muddy blast victim on a stretcher shrieks in agony and scratches at life with desperate, shredded limbs. An Afghan child struck by a Hellfire missile, skin bleeding head to toe from shrapnel wounds, and we cut her open stem to stern, but death steals her abruptly from our hard-pressed hands, as the injuries were too many and too deep. Lonely, homesick, waiting in a cold line outside a phone tent to call my family at Christmas, my dear wife and children cry when they answer, but then they regain their composure, bravely supporting their man and supporting the mission as much as if they were Alpha Company themselves. It was good medicine in bad places. It was hard times. It mattered to all of us. It affected all of us. I don't have a lot of instinct, but it was instinct that started me on writing this. After the combat tour was done and we got home and celebrated and normal life resumed, and I could not exactly return to whom I was before I left. There were good parts to that arrangement, such as every moment with Megan, the girls, family, and friends feeling more precious than before. But there were unsettling parts as well, because I could not find that same person who used to be me. Like when you're looking for something that you know you left safely behind, but unfortunately now it's nowhere to be found, and you get on with things, thinking it will turn up sooner or later, but it doesn't. Or maybe it was a feeling of alienation. Like some parts of that guy you used to know had gotten left behind in the desert, and the missing parts got replaced with other ones which weren't exactly compatible, and now you're not sure what's the right you and what is wrong. So, despite getting back to my normal routine and intensely loving those whom I loved, there remained an unease and a confusion deep inside, and I could just tell that it was something I should not trust to be left alone. I had to process what I had seen and what we had done. I had expected that the war would be just one more thing in my life, because I had in fact been building my way up to it for so long. But it turned out, for me at least, that despite all that preparation, it was not just one more thing. It wasn't the injuries or the surgeries that were necessarily the problem. It was the entirety of the situation that so affected and took me over. It was living inside the other aspect of things, the violent aspect. It was the vacuum of being there. It was the cost of visiting the underworld. Some elements of the war were more incomparable than others. The injured Marines, soldiers, allies, enemies, villagers, and children. A geographic isolation matched only by the emotional distance we had to maintain from the surrounding events. The sadness and camaraderie mixed together in a daily draft from which we drank. The shock of battle and the sense of mission. The investment, the great, big, lifetime investment that we all made into this godforsaken effort, and that investment's convoluted sense of loss and reward. At some point after I returned from it, and once I was home and safe and snug, my wife Megan and our kids ran about their busy days, and I had my regular life stacking up on the desk, but instead of getting immersed into normality, clack, 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 I typed away like a madman, writing out these memories over and over, searching for meaning, capturing them in print, as if then I could work with them rather than be worked by them. And if I arranged and rearranged those little words in just the right way, I presumed and I hoped, maybe they would spell out the route for me to find my way back. The secret of life is in art, Oscar Wilde once said, and now I get that. If you want your life to make sense, you've got to take it apart and break its events into pieces and sew or paste them back together in some way, shape, or form, so that the pattern they create makes sense. The artistic temperament can be a curse, but like anything, it can have its pluses too. It helps you confront your goblins. And after going through this particular exercise, now I think everyone should write their own story, paint their picture, sing their song.